Welcome to the KomboKasters podcast.
Hello.
We have Dan and me, Jack. We have just seen the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Absolutely love the film.
I think a lot of it's revealed in the trailers and stuff, what's happening. I think we kind of...
Yeah, so leaving this film, the only thing I was kind of annoyed about is that I've seen most of it in the trailer already.
Yeah.
And especially when you can see a scene in the trailer where Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, is going after Miles and they're all chasing him.
Yeah,
I wish they kind of left that little bit out.
Yeah.
But they left it in.
Yeah, it would have been good to have that kind of mystery, like, you know, who the bad guy is going to be. You know, because, well, would you say... We all know the Spot's in it. But yeah, would you say that he's the main villain, or...
He's brewing up to become a main villain for something. I mean, if we're going to do non-spoilers right now, I can't really say too much.
Yeah.
But the Spot, he's a great villain, as he is. I loved him.
But he's always been portrayed as, like, kind of a goofy... villain. But yeah, well, we get more into it, what happens with him and stuff. But the trailers kind of just gave it away that there's going to be conflict with the other spider people, and yeah, it would have been nice to have that left out, because just felt like, who's the villain here, you know? Because I feel like the Spot is going to be more of just a hindrance rather than the main problem.
Yeah,
I think the Spider Society is going to be like the main, bad guy. So
yeah. I think for story plot point as well, the direction the story was heading was that Miles was traveling into that Spider Society, and then something happens, and then of course something goes wrong, and that's leading them to chase him and try and take him down. But villain wise, I don't know. Spot was I would recommend saying that he was kind of the main villain in the film.
I mean,
he's not heavily focused.
No, like, it seems like he's going to be obviously more focused on in the third and final film, but yeah, I don't know. If they're obviously brewing up to him, he caused everything that happened in this.
Yeah.
Well, not everything, but everything revolving Miles, involving him, and so... Yeah, he's definitely going to be maybe not the main problem in the third film, but he's definitely going to be a bigger problem.
And in terms of like a Spider-Man story, even when they're all out of their costumes and, like Miles and Gwen talking, you kind of felt that connection, and you kind of felt that story being driven by just the characters becoming one with each other and kind of like dwelling into each other. Even the parents, like the dynamic between the parents and Miles, and like I just love the characters so much.
Yeah. I think you need that humanity with these characters as well, because like that's always been the thing with Peter over the years. It's always been, even though he's got powers and everything, I think the reason people love him so much is because he's so relatable. Because at the end of the day, he's just, apart from his powers, he's just like a normal guy. He's trying to, pay the rent and, trying to get the girl and all that. It's good that, because I think that was a problem with the first film. The other spiders, you didn't see them without their masks on. Yeah. Of course, apart from Penny
Parker, yeah.
Obviously, she got out of the mech quite a bit, but like Noir and Spider-Ham, they didn't take their masks off or anything. We didn't get to connect to them on that level. Yeah. So it was good to see various spider people in this, like taking the masks off, even taking their outfits off, Yeah. Get to see that they are people. So I did like that in this one.
A cool dimension that they travel to, and it is seen in the trailers, is the Spider-Man from India.
Yeah, it was cool to see, that's an example. You got to see him, like, out of his outfit, and we got to see him, like, his everyday life and everything. Very similar to Peter in the sense that, he's just a kid, he's got a girlfriend, he's trying to just live his life, but he's also got this, secret identity. So it's good to connect on that level with him.
In terms of pacing, story-wise, for the film, how did you feel?
How long was the film again?
It was about 2 hours, 20 minutes, I think.
I don't really know how to feel about it. It was very rushed. I could easily follow what's happening, but it's just there's a lot going on, a lot of colours, a lot of glitching, and yeah, you were saying about like the sound issue as well.
Yeah, so I recently just read online that a lot of people are having sound issues with the movie itself, so I thought it was just the cinema. So the first time watching it, because I've seen it twice now.
Yeah, I was going to see it again yesterday, but I didn't in the end.
Uh,
But now that I know that, I wish I did, so I could have...
yeah. Say second time round, watch it, and there's so many different things that you didn't see the first time round. You're gonna spot.
Yeah.
I'll speak about it in like spoiler stuff and whatnot. But when you're watching the first time round, you're focusing on the story and stuff. You want to get into it. Second time round, you're having fun. You're just watching. Oh wow, all these amazing different spider people. But no, the sound issues were that the dialogue was too quiet and the music was too loud. Even in action scenes when the people are talking and they have all this action in the background just playing up. A lot of movies these days are doing that, and it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Because my partner, I watched it with her yesterday. It was her first time watching it. She said that half through the film, like she had to keep coming to me and say, "What did they say?" And I'm like, "Oh, they said this, they said that, they said this."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I want to focus on the film as well at the same time. But
Yeah.
I can understand from her point of view as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with films, especially films like this, you probably should see it more than once. Because I think, yeah, as you said, it's more fun the second time around. Because you know what's going to happen. You're not sitting there wondering, oh, shit, is someone going to die? You know what's going to happen, and you kind of pick up on the things you didn't the first time around. I think you can appreciate it more second time around. Not to say that you don't the first time. It's just second time. It's just it's easier to take in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but
Yeah, I felt that coming the second time round. Which they did give out some cool promotional art with the film. So knowing that you weren't going to go and stuff like that, I didn't know if you were or not. I picked some up and gave some to you. So
yeah, thanks.
Sorted that out.
I think that's about it.
That is about it. I mean,
really...
we can say we really enjoyed the film. Let's get into spoilers now. So if you haven't seen the film, spoilers.
Again, go away. If you don't want to hear this part, you've been warned.
We can talk about Spot, the villain himself. When did you first come across Spot? Because if I remember him, from the 90s
series.
Spider-Man series.
I think that was it. Wasn't that just where he came from? It might be.
He did an experiment on himself.
Yeah, but I mean, was that his first appearance in the series? Or was he actually in the comic book
I thought he was
first?
actually in the comics, yeah.
Not
But
sure.
as an unknown villain, and people
Yeah.
laughed at him back in the day,
Yeah.
didn't take him seriously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is like a goofy character. It's because of how he looks. By the end of the film, he looked quite creepy, sinister. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. But yeah, just the name and how he looks to begin with, it's obvious that he's gonna come across as a very goofy, not to be taken seriously villain. But yeah, what do you think about his motivation?
His motivation, or what I found was really cool, and the connectivity between the first film,
Yeah, the bagel
is that he's
guy.
the bagel guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even put two and two together, some random thing. And did they plan that out the first time round when they were making this film?
I don't know. I think because that guy stood out.
Yeah.
When he was saying he worked at Alchemax, that's what I first thought. I wonder who he was. When they went to Alchemax, I wonder who. He wasn't the bagel guy, was he? And he actually turned out to be. I think it was a good idea to do that because he stood out. The guy that got hit by the bagel.
So now when you watch the first film and he hits the guy in the head with the bagel,
you're just
that's
gonna
Spot.
be. Yeah,
oh my
that's
God.
him.
His real name's Jonathan something. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I think they did enough with his backstory that they needed to.
Yeah.
He worked at Alchemax. He ended up getting affected by the
Super Collider.
yeah, exploding, and it makes sense. It works, and yeah, I like the whole thing with Miles, him connecting with him, he's his nemesis because they created each other.
Yeah.
The spider that came from Earth 42, bit him, and it came there because of Spot, and to Miles' universe. So it makes good. It makes sense. It works. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what he does in the future. I'm just hoping he's not still goofy. You know what I mean? He looks the part. I hope he gets a new name because I don't want him to be called the Spot and
Probably the entity or something.
yeah. So I'm hoping that that's like a small change. He speaks more like godly, and he's
Well, his
more
voice went deeper when he transformed towards the end. It's like,
Yeah, so that's all I want, just for him to be more scary, so we can properly take him seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I think, like, as we said in the non-spoiler part, he's not the main focus. We didn't see him much in the film.
No, I mean, he was a great introduction. The fight in the shop and everything was hilarious, and the way they showed off his powers and the way they use it is pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done.
So they've done all that. And then it kind of, like, when he disappears into his own portal, after there's a fight with Spider-Man and Miles' dad, Jeffrey, who is in that action. When Spock disappears into his own portal, he then is in his own little realm where he can go through any portal and go through any universe he wants. So we got a nice little treat of the Lego universe, which I thought was fantastic. And they used audio from Spider-Man 2 with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
Shut up, get out, that sort of thing, which is fantastic. But then they also used another universe, which I was happy with, but I was kind of like, okay, but then I can understand why they didn't want to show off too much.
Yeah, Venom.
So they gave us the Venom universe.
Store owner.
The store owner from Venom.
Yeah.
She's there, and Spot's like, oh, this is like not the weirdest thing you've seen, pretty much.
Yeah.
And she just has a straight face, but it kind of looks like, yeah, I've seen some shit, man.
Yeah.
Teasing Venom and stuff. I am praying that Venom is in the third film, or some sort of like symbiote Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, like that was the thing we didn't. That's one of the things we didn't see. We didn't see not that I noticed, but we didn't see a Spider-Man with the symbiote.
Yeah.
Like part of the Spider Society. So, yeah, I don't know if they're kind of shying away from doing it, or
it's possibly because Spider-Man 2 is coming out and they don't want to
don't
overload it
clash,
with the symbiote stuff. So maybe when Spider-Man 2 comes out and then the third one, Beyond the Spider-Verse, comes out, then they'll put some more symbiote stuff in there.
Yeah.
That universe, the Venom one, it was cool. It was like a nice little treat to see. And live action as well. Miles Morales. So later on there's a flashback and a thing where Miguel O'Hara is talking to Miles about how everyone's lost someone. So how each Spider-Man's lost their Uncle Ben. And you see a scene between... there's a scene with Tobey Maguire and Uncle Ben. You can see there from the first Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Then they go on about Captain Stacy, or even before that, about there's also Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker losing Captain Stacy in the first Amazing Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
They're live-action versions, and we're seeing this animated version. Look at the live-action versions.
Yeah.
What if in the live-action versions we have a chance to see the animated Miles come into that? Would that transpire the same, or would it be different? Or in the third film, if they do a cameo of Andrew or Toby, would they come in as live action, or would they come in as animated?
That would be animated.
They'd be animated
because we've already seen animated characters in like when the Spot went to the Venom universe, or at least popped his head into Venom universe, he was still animated, and then we'll just say it now. There's a bit in the Spider Society where Miles is being given like a sort of tour, and they go past a bit where that's what the Spider Society does. They basically fix problems throughout the multiverse, picking up people that had, like villains and stuff that had accidentally slipped through to other universes that they shouldn't be in. So yes, we get to see some of those villains when we're in the Spider Society, and one of them is Prowler from the MCU,
played by Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
But he was still live action.
Yeah.
The bit later on as well where we see like Miguel is explaining how things have to be. Every timeline needs this. What do you call it?
It's like a canon thing.
Yeah.
So
a canon event.
A canon event that happens. If you interfere with that canon event, then your world could be disrupted and sucked into a black portal, like Spot's powers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And implode on itself.
Yeah, basically just like in What If.
Yeah.
Where things had to happen a certain way. You tried to change it, it would destroy the universe.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it's the same thing, and it was a nice way to connect to that, even if they weren't intentionally doing that. We were seeing like evidence of things having to be a certain way, and yeah, as you said, like we saw Andrew Garfield with Captain Stacy, saw Toby with Uncle Ben. That was all live action.
Yeah.
So if we did see Toby or Andrew or even Tom,
So they wouldn't come in their live action
But-
counterparts into the Spider-Verse movie.
no, that they would be live action.
That's what I'm saying. So they would be live action versions themselves
Yeah.
coming into the actual animated film.
Yeah, which would be a bit, meh.
It'd be weird.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, it would stand
So-
out a bit. Like, okay, the whole Donald Glover reveal was cool, but
yeah.
he looked out of place.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was just sitting there as well. It's
Yeah.
not like he was a big part of it. He was just kind of there. So if they were to show up, we'd probably just see a thing like with Spot showing up in the Venom universe, just like
Yeah.
a little appearance, a little, you know,
Or a live action Spot would be cool.
yeah, a little cameo. Again, that wouldn't happen though if he went to, like, yeah, we saw with Spot.
Oh, I meant just in general, like, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. What, like in the MCU or
Yeah,
something?
like that'd be cool to see, like, just
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
off his powers, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, from that, we have, so basically, Spot is getting stronger and he's planning on wanting to kill Miles and destroy everything that he loves because Miles destroyed everything that basically the Spot loved, I guess. So
Yeah.
he technically gave Miles his powers. Spot created the spider that bit Miles.
He didn't create it. He just brought it through from...
Oh, he brought it through. So he brought it through to the universe. Miles got bit. But that spider in general was meant to get bitten by Peter Parker in the universe. Which, you know...
Be bitten by...
Did I say that? Oh.
Yeah, like as if he's going to bite the spider.
Oh, right. The spider from
Earth 42
Earth 42.
was supposed to be was supposed to bite Peter from Earth 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that Peter didn't get bitten by that spider. So there's a universe without Spider-Man.
Yeah. And it is a wreck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much a wreck. And you get to see that universe towards the end of the film, but we'll go
Yeah.
to that in a bit.
Yeah.
The thing I want to touch upon is that Miles' motivation into why he goes out of his way to say, no, I need to get back home, is because Miles sees a flashback. Oh, well, fast forward, actually. He sees a vision when he's having a fight with Spot about his dad, Jeffrey, dying against the Spot. So the Spot, destroys a building, and the building falls straight onto Jeffrey whilst he's trying to save a little girl.
Yeah, but it's kind of going in and out.
Yeah.
You know,
You vividly see it.
yeah.
So, of course, you see that briefly, and then when it gets to Spider Society, they then talk about it, saying, each captain needs to die. Meanwhile, Miles' dad's been promoted to be a captain. What happens then is that Miguel O'Hara says, you can't change it, it's going to happen, your dad's going to die, pretty much. Miles doesn't want that. He said there has to be a way, and unfortunately everyone else follows Miguel O'Hara saying, no, it has to be, Even Miles says, oh, what about Uncle Ben? Are you happy about Uncle Ben dying and stuff like that? Then Peter, which is one of my favourite characters in this film, he says, without Uncle Ben, there wouldn't be half of us here, pretty much.
Yeah. That would be no Spider-Man.
There'd be no motivation to be him. And which I thought was fantastic. Branching onto that, Miles then, says, no, I'm not having any of this. And Hobie Brown helps him out a little bit and, guides him, which I didn't catch on the first time round, really, because he was just so quiet and so brief, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Hobie helps him out a bit, and, Miles is learning a new trick with his hands, trying to break out and stuff. So after that, anyway, Miles breaks out of the little eggshell that he's stuck in, and Miguel and everyone just goes ham on him and tries to basically chase him down and stop him. Meanwhile, we get an awesome little sequence of Miles going through all the different Spider-Man, and you see that T-Rex version of Spider-Man, so Spider-Rex, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a Spider-Cat as well.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Loads of little cameos. So second time round watching it, you'll see loads of other Spider-Men, which you didn't see the first time round. I'm convinced that I saw the 90s animated Spider-Man, but in a corner somewhere. But you literally see it for a millisecond. But I only saw the lenses. I didn't get a chance to see the logo because he's got such a small logo on the front.
Yeah.
So you see that, and then after that, there's a big chase sequence on the train, going up somewhere, and then
Yeah, I thought it was going up to space because there were.
it looked like space.
It
Didn't
looked,
Yeah.
it looked like they were finding it hard to breathe, as if they were leaving the atmosphere.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean it's Nueva York, so
Yeah.
it's like in the future, so probably going to the moon or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, we're going to the moon, honey. Here we go. So, there's a big chase sequence on the train. Miguel finally catches up to Miles and says, "You don't know what you're doing," all that stuff. And
Yeah.
Miles is like, "I'm fed up of people telling me what to do. How to run my own life. I want to do it myself."
Yeah.
Shocks Miguel. And then
Yeah.
basically Miles wants to head back to the Spider Society building where he can get back to his own universe. He does that, but also...
Hang on, can we just talk about one thing with Miguel? So yeah, obviously with Miguel, he's what was he saying about? Wasn't he like the first one to kind of try and change things? Because he came from a universe.
Yeah, he tried to go to another universe where he had a daughter and a family, pretty much.
But that universe's version of him had
Got
died. So he tried to take his place, and that universe ended up basically dying. But Miguel was really... He was a dick.
But he's not always miserable like that. He's not a complete arsehole.
No. But yeah, there's something going on with Miguel. So yeah, there's a bit where Miguel kind of goes to, I don't know, bite Vulture or something, as if he's actually a vampire. Because in the comic books, Miguel actually does have like red eyes and fangs and stuff.
It's more Spider-esque, but for some reason he's treated like a vampire in this film.
Yeah, yeah. Like, Gwen even mentions him as being like a sort of vampire character. But yeah, it actually seems like he might be a vampire or something. As I said, like, after we finished watching the film, in the Spider-Verse series, like, you've got the family, like Morlun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, are they going to make it seem like he's like a vampire, like an energy vampire like they are? Because I thought that he was going to, like... in desperation trying to stop Vulture, he was going to like suck out his life force or something. So yeah, it's definitely interesting because we see a bit as well where he injects himself.
Yeah, injects himself and it goes into his bloodstream and then
yeah.
it calms him down. His eyes just go from like completely red to
yeah. So
normal.
I don't know if it is like an actual vampire thing that he's trying to overcome, or I don't know how this happened.
We might see him break in the third film and, you know, transform into whatever it is.
Because we don't actually find out anything about his universe.
No.
We just find out about that he tried to go to another universe. Or, well, actually, I presume that the universe that they're in, the Spider Society, I presume that is just his universe.
I would have thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know anything about it. We don't know about this version of Miguel's origins.
No, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I am thinking, does he actually have spider powers? Because when...
We didn't really see any, yeah.
Yeah, because I was saying, like, the bit where Miles shocked him, his suit was kind of depleting. It was kind of falling apart. And he was falling off the train, you know, as if he can't actually climb walls. Because, like, just because his suit is disappearing.
He's been clawing into walls.
Yeah, he's clawing into walls, and, like, his web shooters, I mean, obviously, well... There is like organic webbing and stuff, but most spider people use web shooters.
Yeah.
So I did presume that Miguel was just using like futuristic web shooters that shoot like energy or whatever instead of actual webbing. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe he gets all his abilities and webbing and everything from his suit. Is he just like some sort of energy vampire playing Spider-Man?
Who knows? Yeah, we'll have to find out. We could be over speculating on that, but we don't know. That's the thing, until it comes out.
But yeah, so you were talking about Miles getting back to the Spider Society and
getting home.
Yeah.
So Miles gets home, quotation marks, but then Gwen gets pushed back by Spider Society and goes back to her universe because Miguel's had enough of her because she brought Miles by accident. Well, he kind of walked in himself and... You know, she was careless. So Gwen finds out, no, she needs to go and find Miles. She goes back to her universe. Gwen and her dad had a massive chat about her identity, who she is, who she needs to be, and how her dad has quit the force, and he's no longer a captain. Originally, earlier in the film, it was like captains need to die and that sort of thing. Captain States need to die. So she knew that her dad was going to die, But what we didn't bank on is that he's quit being a captain,
Yeah.
so I'm guessing he's not going to die now. So is that a possibility for Miles's dad to just not be a captain, and in that sort of terminology?
Or is this some sort of anomaly? Like
Yeah.
Miles is. Was he actually supposed to die in Gwen's universe?
Yeah.
But now, because things happened and she revealed her identity, like if what happened with Peter didn't happen, and she didn't reveal her identity to her dad, would he have quit?
He would have still been on the Force.
Yeah, and he would have still died. So is something bad gonna happen because of that?
Yeah.
Don't know.
But there's also so Miles goes back to his universe, and there's something really fucking cool which I didn't pick up on the first time seeing it,
Right.
and it's to do with colours and costume choice. So Miles goes back to his universe, quotation marks, and he sees his mum, and he puts on a hoodie and a coat, and his mum comes in, and he then reveals his identity to her, and they have a big talk about it, and then she's like, "Oh, who's Spider-Man? Is this like another Halloween costume idea or something like that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" And then things are not right there. Turns out Miles is in the wrong universe. He's gone back to the universe where the spider was meant to...
Yeah.
That spider,
Earth
42,
Yeah.
that was meant to bite Peter, didn't exist. So there's no Spider-Man in this universe whatsoever. I'll go back to that scene specifically with Miles and his mum. But we'll have to reveal something else after. So, moving forward to that bit, Gwen manages to get a watch from Hobie Brown to go and find Miles, goes back to the right universe, stumbles upon Miles' parents in Miles' actual universe, and says, "Oh, I'll go and find Miles, I don't know where he is," and there's a heartwarming moment there. So she goes off. She's also gone off to go and find the other Spider people, like Peter Parker, Spider-Noir, the original lot from the first Spider-Man film, and the new team as well from this film, so Hobie Brown.
Yeah, there's a thing with that you just mentioned. So Hobie basically showed up in Gwen's universe and gave his watch to Captain Stacy.
Yeah.
How? Because before the chase scene happened, he said, like, "I quit," and then he
threw his watch down. Yeah, I did notice that second time around.
He opened up a portal, kind of just tossed it before he walked through. So how did he get it back so he could get to Gwen's universe?
That's the thing, I don't know. So
I don't know.
Unless he... Because he was, like, pinching stuff as well, putting stuff in his pockets as he walked around, so I wonder if he stole another watch.
Maybe.
So anyway, yeah, so they do that. They all assemble to go and find Miles. Meanwhile, Miles is in another universe. There's a brilliant playoff where it goes back and forth to Gwen being in the normal universe and Miles in the alternate universe. Miles' dad comes out of his car and he goes into the building. And then Miles goes into the living room, and the door opens, and you think it's his dad, but it's actually his Uncle Aaron who comes through. And he's got like a white greyish beard this time round, looks slightly different. And it's all nice at first. And then Miles' mum asks him to go and get some shopping, so Uncle Aaron goes out with him.
As soon as I saw him, though, I knew, like, something, like, he's the Prowler. Like, he's still going to be the Prowler in this universe.
Yeah.
So I was on edge.
Yeah.
The bit with where he revealed his identity.
Yeah.
And she said, "Who's Spider-Man?" and everything.
Yeah.
Like, you knew straight away, shit, he's in the wrong universe.
Yeah.
And then they just kept adding things that
Subtle things, building it up like that, which
you
is
knew-
fantastic. Yeah.
like the bit where she said, "Is that a character from Comics Con or something?"
Yeah.
You know, and we already know from the first film that Comic Con doesn't exist in Miles's universe.
Yeah.
Remember? So it just kept giving us all these like hints that he's
Bit
in
up
the wrong
Easter eggs
universe.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So then they go upstairs, Uncle Aaron and our Miles. Miles is glitching as well, and he's thinking, "Oh no, I'm in the wrong universe." Gwen also realised, "Oh no, he's in the wrong universe." Miles then goes up the stairs with Uncle Aaron, and then they pan across to a building, and in this universe, this is where not Uncle Aaron is dead, but his dad is already dead.
Yeah.
And then Miles is like, "Oh no." And then Miles looks at Uncle Aaron. Uncle Aaron gives him the side eye, which is quite sinister. My
Yeah.
hairs are standing off my arm. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a character comes out of nowhere and kicks Miles. Now, just hit my head. Kicks Miles
Knocks him out.
and knocks him out. And then Miles wakes up and he's stuck to a punching bag, just like
in
Peter
the-
was in the
yeah.
first film, yeah. And Uncle Aaron is sat there. He's getting the Prowler gauntlet on his hand, and Miles saying, "No, you're a good guy. You're not a bad guy. You know, my Uncle Aaron in my universe was bad, but he learned to be good, and I know he had a nice heart. And this Uncle Aaron just doesn't give a fuck." And he punches the punching bag, And I thought he punched Miles in the head. And blew
Yeah,
his
I
head
know.
off.
I thought that
that's
as well.
a bit dark.
Yeah. But then when we saw the punching bag, there was nothing. I thought that maybe he punched a part of it off and like some of the stuffing came out or something, but nothing was wrong with it.
Completely fine after that, yeah.
Maybe it was just like an effect, like a comic booky effect.
It was cool though, yeah.
Yeah.
After that, Miles says, "Oh, but you're the Prowler," and then Uncle Aaron says, "No, I'm not the Prowler."
Yeah.
And then the camera pans up to a character sat up there, and it is the Prowler, but it's not Uncle Aaron. It comes down, and is that about to end? All right, I was just wondering what you're doing. Anyway, back to it. So yeah, this character comes down. And it's the Prowler, but not Uncle Aaron Prowler. He then goes up to Miles and says, "Oh, you're not from this universe. Your dad's alive, pretty much. My dad's not." And then Miles is like, "Who are you?" And then the character reveals his face, and it is Miles himself, but from this universe as the Prowler. It was
pretty obvious, though. Like, you know, we kind of knew it was happening because, like, where's Miles? You know?
Yeah.
Because I think that's always the thing as well. Where you want to see when someone travels to another universe, you want to see that universe's version of that character. So, like, we've seen Rio, we've seen Aaron. You know, we know that Jeff is dead.
Yeah.
You know, where's Miles? So, yeah, it was obvious. But yeah, I obviously I do want to know what how that came to be.
Yeah. The thing I was talking about with the identity reveal with Miles and the alternate version of the mum. I didn't notice it the first time around, but the second time round I noticed when he put on the hoodie and the coat, they're the Prowler colours. So the hoodie is purple and the coat is green.
All right.
And in the other universe, in Miles' universe, it's blue and red. So or black and red or something like that.
No, I thought he had like a green jacket with a red hoodie. It's kind of a dark, like.
Oh, he might have, yeah. So one of those colours anyway. But in this alternate universe, it was purple. Yeah. And I didn't click on it. I thought, oh no, they're the Prowler colours.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watch it again and have a look for yourself. Just point it out. It's wicked. I love the attention to detail in this film.
Yeah.
Each spider person. Well, I'll talk about the end first, actually. This alternate Mars reveals himself to Miles, and then Miles is kind of stuck there, and it kind of leaves it on a cliffhanger. So the other spider people are trying to find Miles. Miles is stuck with the alternate version of the Prowler himself.
Spot is getting ready to
Spot is getting ready.
What he's gonna do
to go and kill everyone, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and we got to wait until March next year, so not far off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's all right. Less than a year.
Yeah, that was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and pretty much we enjoyed the film. The other thing I was going to point out as well, each Spider-Man in their own universe had their own art style.
Someone more noticeable, like with Punk, he was very, like, even moving around, he was just like changing colours and everything.
That kind of annoyed me a bit because it was just like off-putting.
Yeah, it was just kind of, you couldn't really focus on him too much. But yeah, so things like that were a bit distracting, especially when you see all the other spider people. They were just very, plain. Well, not plain, but they didn't have like this kind of effect on them like he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did quite like it. It was very, punky looking. It worked, but yeah, it wasn't hard to understand and follow the story. But yeah, some things were just a bit like in your face, like rushed.
Story-wise, it was good, but the action sequences and some, like the beginning fight with the Vulture was a bit like, oh Jesus Christ, you know, because the different art styles bouncing back and forth with each other was a bit off-putting. But other than that, I absolutely love this film.
Yeah.
Highly recommend going and seeing it, not once but twice. See it 3 times if you want.
Yeah. I think I'd give the same, a 9.
9 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, great story. Really looking forward to seeing what happens with it. Yeah, so I think that's it. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, really enjoyed the film. Highly recommend it. And before we go, we'll just mention about the Spider-Man 2 game.
From Insomniac.
I'm so looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
I actually cannot wait for it. They reveal the symbiote costume and just
And I love. Well, I told you this already. I love not just the anger in Peter's voice, and the brutality in which he's fighting as well.
Yeah.
But I love that he's actually using the symbiote the way that Venom probably would.
Yeah.
He's kind of like flinging it at people, and he's not just wearing it like a suit. he's actually like using it
Yeah.
properly, you know. So I love that they're actually doing that with the character, because it never made sense to me that, you know, you've got Venom, he's like blasting symbiote tentacles all over the place and stuff like that, and grabbing people.
Yeah.
And Peter's just basically the same but stronger and a bit angrier.
Yeah.
So I love that he's doing that. And I love that you can switch between characters.
Between
anytime.
Miles and Peter anytime, and
Yeah.
I'm praying that we can play as Venom if we can.
Yeah,
Like, if that is an option, please,
even if it was just
Insomniac.
like a DLC or something,
Yeah.
you can just play as him, you know, for...
Eating people like in the Ultimate
Yeah.
Spider-Man game. Yeah, the poor
Yeah.
child with the balloon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you ate a child in the first
Yeah,
mission
yeah.
of, Venom
Yeah.
and Ultimate Spider-Man.
yeah,
I think that was a PG as well. So being a young kid thinking, oh god, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, just looking forward to just seeing more characters, you know.
And the map is bigger as well.
Yeah, yeah.
We get to see
I
more.
saw that it's going to be like twice as big.
Yeah, is it
which-
Brooklyn as well? Manhattan?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's first game and the Miles Morales game as well. It's just set in Manhattan, so I
Yeah.
guess they're going to be going to like...
We've got Queens to go
Yeah,
to.
we know that we're going to Queens and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just wondering, are we going to be like going through the suburbs and stuff like that? Like, how is he going to web swing through? Like, it's all right with big buildings.
Yeah.
But how's he going to get through
Fast travel train.
houses and stuff like
Oh, but there's also the gliding thing, the web
that?
wings.
Yeah.
So that could be a factor in that.
Yeah, because it seems like when we see Miles gliding, that one bit after you switch to him, he it looks more like he's flying. I know he's not.
Yeah.
He is gliding, but it's just he's going a lot further than he should just for a simple glide. But yeah, just looking forward to just seeing more villains as well, because we had loads of villains at the first game. The Miles Morales game, we didn't really get
Not a lot,
like,
no. Not a lot of the Rose Gallery, anyway.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward. We get to see Lizard, and I just want to see what they look like in this universe, because
Yeah.
I really just love the designs of the characters
Yeah.
in the first game. So yeah, just
Sandman would be really cool to see.
yeah, and you got to think like it's probably best having villains and characters that Craven can hunt.
Yeah.
You know, you probably wouldn't go after people like Mysterio and
No,
stuff
no.
like that.
Animal-related villains.
Yeah,
you'd
yeah,
go after,
probably. I mean,
Scorpion, that
yeah,
sort
but
of-
we've already had him in the
Yeah,
first game.
true.
Not that I don't want to see him again, but yeah. So yeah, it'd be like more tough to take down
Yeah.
characters.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're looking forward to Spider-Man 2. Gameplay looks incredible. Just in general looks amazing. So I think that's out this year, September
Yeah.
time, hopefully. They haven't done a
the end
reveal
of the
date
year,
yet.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for listening to our review as well, and we hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you.
yeah, see ya.